Evaluate this guy next to you as a quarterback. What's he going to do for you for the rest of the year?
You guys just got to tune in and see.
Top 15 volleyball. Number one team in the country. The Panthers will meet SMU ranked 15th. And believe it or not, it's the first time in history these two teams have ever faced each other. So good evening, everybody. Sam going along with Emily Amon. And Emily, who would have thought at this point in the season SMU would be pretty much a lock for a top 16 seed, and Pitt would have only lost one set all season.
I don't think many people had it on their bingo cards this season, but both Pitt and SMU have taken already good seasons last year and elevated their level of play. Pitt has only lost one single set all year, and SMU
seeing all the sights and sounds from after that game as we start the show with some victorious Vanderbilt Commodores, Diego Pavia and Gunnar Hansen. Guys, congratulations. I know it's been a whirlwind since that game on Saturday. I want to start with this. Diego, are you tired of doing TV interviews at this point? Like, how many have you done since Saturday?
Good back throw with Catherine last year.
I've done a few.
Swings to the next level this season.
Yeah, I'm just, trying to get ready for Kentucky right now and just watching film. I feel like
averaging nearly 1 ace per set, good for second in the NCAA. Last week, Babcock did something that no NCAA player has done since 2022, and that's a triple-double in kills, digs, and aces. She put up 12 aces in a single match against Boston College. That tells you just how killer her serve can be when she gets in rhythm. If Babcock gets hot back there, it's game over for the other side. One thing about SMU, though, they are never going to back down from a fight. That mentality is led by fifth-year setter Celia Cullen, who's also led the Mustangs offense, hit nearly 300 this season, good for second in the ACC. SMU's offense has to stay efficient and balanced tonight against Pitt, one of the most stifling defenses in the nation.
SMU, they started the season upsetting Nebraska, but if they can beat Pitt, it would be the first time they have taken down a number one. And for Pitt, they are trying to keep this train rolling and stay undefeated. There's only 2 undefeated Division I teams in the country, but Pitt is right now number 1 in the nation. They have held that ranking since early September. They are the only school that has been to the NCAA national semifinals the past 3 seasons. And actually, it's interesting, over the last 5 seasons, Emily, Pitt has won more matches than any other Division I program.
Pitt is a program that has continued to build under head coach Dan Fisher. He's done a phenomenal job of leading this team to be dominant on both sides of the ball.
Dan Fisher bringing that California cool to Pittsburgh, and he's found a home here. The only thing Dan Fisher lost when he came to Pitt was his tan. But he's an avid mountain biker.
Okay.
Loves living here and raising his family here, and they have locked him in for a few more seasons at least. But Dan Fisher's a big fish here in Pittsburgh, and this community absolutely loves him. We're in the Fitz tonight, which is one of the more popular venues in the ACC, at least not for the opposition maybe, but it is a fantastic facility with a lot of rich tradition. I love coming in here, Emily, because you can go up and lift weights in between sets if you want. There's an actual weight room up at the top of one of the sides here. But this Pitt team, last year and the year before, getting to the national semifinals, they did not feel like they started well enough, and they just have not been able to get over that hump. So they've been working with a sports psychologist for a while, Bernie Holiday, and one of the points of emphasis for this Pitt team this year was starting. And while we have a moment, a reminder that you can catch the SMU Mustangs in action again next Wednesday night right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app, as SMU will host this week's number 5 Stanford in Dallas. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific should be a great one. This SMU team will play Pitt again, by the way, on Saturday down in Dallas, as they'll play back-to-back. This has been a fantastic start to the season for SMU, following up on last year's record-breaking season. We saw the win over Nebraska, and they just have kept it going, Emily.
SMU finds ways to win. It's not even just sweeping Nebraska. They then swept Baylor. They swept Georgia Tech. This is a SMU program that has been trying to build up over the last few years and really break into the national scene. And you see, they've already done it just in 1 season alone. Ranked their highest ever, taking down opponents' highest ranked win in program history. SMU has done a phenomenal job building those blocks over the past few seasons, and really just last year under Erger into a springboard this season where they look unstoppable right now. Their confidence is so high.
And they are really building a tradition at SMU. A lot of attendance in all their home matches. Here's some of those matches you were talking about, Emily, in terms of the wins they've had. Tonight, they are going for yet another ranked win. It would be their 4th top 25 win, the only time they've lost 300.
Well, this is what Pitt does to teams. It doesn't matter how efficient you play. On the season, Pitt is holding opponents under 100. That leads the entire country. So yes, these are not great numbers from SMU, but you don't expect them to be in the 300 level when you're playing a team like Pitt.
SMU is on a 7-match win streak right now, and they have been led by Chimay and Tabron, among the leaders in the ACC in terms of kills per set, but they have not really gotten going tonight.
It's been really difficult to go up against this Pitt block. They're doing a really nice job suffocating them at the net. The coverage has had to work really hard on SMU's side just to even recycle some of these plays and keep them back on SMU's side.
When you play Pitt, Emily, what do you think it takes you longest to adjust to?
The physicality is definitely one thing if you're not used to playing as physical of a team, meaning when they're up on the block, they're pressing a little farther over.
Program beyond belief, Emily.
He has done such a great job building them up, not even just as an ACC powerhouse, now as a national powerhouse. 3 consecutive national semifinals appearances, the only NCAA program over the past few years to do that. 5 ACC titles in the last 7 years. He is just a magnificent coaching mind. The way that he's able to break down play and the way he's able to also develop players, I don't think he gets enough credit for that. From the time players come in to the time they leave, they are exponentially better. He does such a great job at fundamentals and really honing that in with his teams.
Well, he is a very detail-oriented head coach. He has the team spend time with the pep band who is here just to get to know them and kind of all get on the same page. So it's a real like festival atmosphere when you come here to a match. By the way, the strength and conditioning coach for the entire Pitt athletic program is a former volleyball player.
Heck yeah.
And Dan Fisher says, you know, why not?
Debris and eventually clogging, then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with Leaf Guard gutters. Leaf Guard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, Leaf Guard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete Leaf Guard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Well, right now, from this point forward, the RPI is going to come out every week, and that is one of the metrics that the selection committee uses to determine the seeds and the teams that make the NCAA tournament. It's interesting, Emily, because Pitt in the RPI is 3 in the RPI behind Louisville, but yet the rankings, which obviously don't mean anything to the committee, Pitt's number 1 in the nation. Now, we have a long way to go, even between now and when they do their reveal in a couple of weeks. If they were to beat, and I always think that favors the team that loses.
It really is for both sides because you find ways to make adjustments really quickly. You don't have to wait, 2-3 weeks maybe to see that team again. You say, okay, what did we do on Wednesday? What did we do well? What didn't we do well? And how can we make that adjustment?
SMU will host Pitt on Saturday. Timeout on the floor, and hey, it's the ACC. And what is synonymous with the ACC? Basketball, baby. The ACC basketball tip-off rolls on tomorrow from Charlotte. It's Men's Media Day. 8 more hours of coverage starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. They'll continue with head coach and player interviews from each team and have individual team previews right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Dan Fisher and his staff working hard during this timeout. See behind him, Kellen Petrone and Mike Fisher, along with Sean Ermey. Other assistant is Kamalani Akeo. And that's Kellen Petrone there on the right. He was the National Assistant Coach of the Year. And I mean, Kellen is a Yinzer, and in case you don't know what that means, he is pure Pittsburgh. He grew up.
When you're back on the end line, this being a 9-0 scoring run, to go back there and continue to hit serve after serve, even if you don't have anyone on the other side of the court and you're just in practice, it's difficult to hit hard serves that often in a row. Pitt does a really nice job in these service runs, keeping the pressure on and not allowing the other team out of it with a miss.
Pitt, again, they lead the nation in hit percentage. They lead the nation in opponent hit percentage, which means they defend better than any other team in the country. And they're fourth in the nation in aces per set.
This is a Pitt Panther team that just doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. It's so difficult to play them because you can't say, okay, in this rotation maybe they struggle, or in this area of the game we can maybe get them. You look at these rankings, Pitt right now as a whole doesn't have weaknesses. It's very difficult to pick apart an opponent when they maybe are playing at their best. The opponent just has to hope that they're having an.
One of the players that you put in the category in any sport, she can take over the match. She can take over the game. Whatever they're doing, Olivia Babcock can put the team on her back. So Olivia Babcock, 16 kills tonight. And a reminder that we've got our Week 7 ACC Network football lineup. It's a Command Center presentation. Number 10, Clemson and Wake Forest at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. They'll have 4 different camera angles, real-time player and team stats. And then Virginia will host Louisville. We'll cap the night with 4-1 Syracuse, 3-3 NC State at 8 Eastern. Each game also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. So Olivia Babcock, Emily, where do you put her in terms of National Player of the Year?
She is my National Player of the Year right now. I think it's the best team he's had in terms of expectations and maintaining.
Pitt 15-0 to start the season as Stafford tools the block on